So I'm going to say this about the Raiders picks.
Yeah.
One, there is no such thing as consensus rankings of anything. I was just seeing a guy react to Ruggs going at 12 instead of CeeDee Lamb or Judy, and the person's like, "Well, the consensus rankings of the wide receivers." Who does the consensus rankings? Do you have the consensus rankings from the teams? Because if you don't have that, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Okay, I've been doing this long enough that the mock drafts are nonsense. There's only a few people who do mock drafts who are actually connected and then can get decent information from teams. And at that, I don't think they get good information. I think they get a lot of smoke screens. And then what happens is the 85% of people who do mock drafts who aren't connected cannibalize the ones that might be connected. And the same 40 players, 45 players are all shoehorned into those 32 picks. Yeah. So there's no variety. So from 15 on, there's going to be some weird picks. So first of all, talking to Mike Mayock tonight, they thought Ruggs was the best for their offense. He said he liked Jerry Jeudy. He liked CeeDee Lamb. They need someone who scares defenses, who can go deep. And that's what they have in Ruggs. They have the other elements they need in the offense. So that's why they like Ruggs.
And it's understandable. But and yes, when you look at the youth, you look at Williams, you look at Jacobs, you look at Waller in the season that he had last year. It's understandable. You look at Ruggs and you see how it could fit. But Steve, there's this overwhelming kind of reality that I can't get away from, and that is that Ruggs is a speed threat. Now, yes, he is capable of catching short balls and breaking longer runs. I mean, that's kind of his MO. He's a touchdown machine. He's a big play type of guy. But listen, I don't think it's any secret. Derek Carr is like allergic to any pass over 15 to 20 yards.
Guess what?
So
have to change.
I'm trying to rationalize this, and I'm having a little bit of a problem.
This is where everyone's getting stuck.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is not guaranteed to be the Raiders quarterback for the next 5 years. What happens this coming year is going to decide if they're going with him long term. And if they give you a weapon to go deep, and you still insist on throwing everything underneath to protect your completion percentage, then he's going to be done. Yeah. So this is the final move, and I saw Ed Graney already wrote it. Like, all right, Derek, you're on the clock. So here's the deep weapon. They hope. I mean, ultimately, it would be awesome if Henry Ruggs is Tyreek Hill, but they envision him being able to do a lot of the things that Tyreek Hill does. So that's part one on the Ruggs pick, and we'll see what happens with CeeDee Lamb. You can't really judge these things for 4 years. We'll see what happens with CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson, and especially Jerry Jeudy. Mayock also came on with us on the Raiders draft show tonight, and he said, hey, all three guys are good. All three of the top guys are good. He thought Gruden could do something good with all of them, but this works for our offense. This is the final piece that we needed. So I trust him on that, and if the other two guys turn out to be 85 catches and 1,200 yards and Ruggs is a 45-catch, 650-yard guy, then they blew it. But we got to see how it works out here the first couple of years.
Yeah, and I do generally agree when you talk about Jeudy, when you talk about obviously Ruggs, and then as the other name is
CeeDee Lamb, yeah.
Yes, thank you, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we've seen it year after year and draft after draft. The separation there is minimal. Seeking a CeeDee Lamb, I think I don't know if you got to see the video of his quick hands with his girl trying to grab the second phone in the middle of the draft, and him putting the kibosh on that pretty quickly. That was the thing that I enjoyed most, is that we got to, I mean, obviously everything was remote. It was an eerie it was a different feeling, but seeing kind of behind the scenes into everyone's home. I was judging everyone's couches. You saw everyone's girlfriends. You saw everyone's houses. That's what I really realized about.
Give me some observations. Give me a couple of couch observations.
Well, everyone has better couches than I do. That's what hurt for me today.
Well, I'll say the one I was disappointed with, and good for them. It looks like they live a humble existence, but I thought that Joe Burrow's parents could have upgraded.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when the money's that's coming in. Maybe they wanted to play that Southeast Ohio tip, just an everyman, just doing it for maybe it's all branding. Maybe they're already thinking about what's to come, Steve. You landed in Ohio. You're an Ohio kid. You don't want to be too uppity. You know what I mean? You want the weed hat, and you want the chili pepper behind you.
Yeah.
No?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that There are rumors out there that Burrow's dad came in and bet on Joe for the Heisman before the season came to Vegas. He did.
Yeah.
And he won a lot of money.
Well, good for him.
Like a lot.
Hey, believing
Like,
in your baby boy, nothing wrong with that.
I'm guessing north of 150 grand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that would buy a very nice couch, Steve. Yes.
When I saw that, knowing at least a couple of the books that he cashed that, when I saw the couch, I was like, damn, his dad is like me. He's like, I don't care if I won money. This couch can last another 8 years. We can wait.
So you saw the reason why Joe Burrow was so successful, that he had this rock of a father, this steadfast kind of figurehead to set the example for him.
The other thing I loved with the families was I love big people, right? So I love like physical oddities, and Samoans are awesome.
Yes, no question.
Samoans and Polynesians.
Tua and his family.
Family.
Get out of here.
Like the whole family were just built like offensive linemen. It's so awesome. And then like I don't love the Jets pick because Mekhi Becton apparently was dumb enough to get tagged probably for weed. Yeah. Which, dude, come on. Your career is starting.
Yeah.
Lay off the weed. Obviously, I'm not an anti-weed guy. I've got the weed hat in the background, and we live here in Vegas and we enjoy the dispensaries. But like, if that's part of your job to lay off it for a month, lay off it. But I was thrilled when I saw Mekhi Becton, who's gigantic, who's 6'8" and 375, and then his dad was standing there, and I'm like, his dad is like 200 pounds heavier than him. His dad was like 6'5", 500. That's a dream. His dad was just so goddamn big. So awesome.
So as I was having couch envy, you were having father envy.
Yeah, my dad's not a big guy like that.
You wish you had a sumo father. We're finding out so much in these late night chats. We can't not do these. This is too good.
It's so awesome. The Raiders' second pick is really interesting because it's reminiscent of last year when all the mock drafts had Furl going like 15 on down, and the Raiders took him at 4, and he had a mixed result season. The book's not closed on him. He was much better in the second half than the first half. It's clear that with Damon Arnett, they like the guy. And without a second-round pick, they're like, he's not going to last to the third. We're grabbing him. And again, when we talked to Mike Mayock on the post-draft show, he said, hey, we got offers to trade back to the second, because that's what everyone said, like, trade back. Well, like, 1, you have to have willing partners, and 2, what happens if you trade back from 19 to, like, 45, and then your player is gone? And that's what he said. He thought if they traded back in the deals that were offered, he'd be gone. And I'm just telling you, with both of these guys, this is something he harped on that was a common theme. With Ruggs, he said Saban told him that Ruggs was one of the hardest guys, if not the hardest working guys on the team. Like, he approached things like he was a walk-on. Yeah. And he said with Arnett, he said, bar none, he thought he was the most competitive defensive back in the country in college. And he repeated over and over again with Arnett, he's like competitive, he's going to bring it. That's what we're trying to bring in the building. We want to bring in an attitude. So it's also part of their culture. So I know with Arnett, and again, scouting services are all different. I saw one service that said, hey, this guy's got upside. His production was a bit limited for a couple of different reasons, but they had him the 5th overall cornerback in the draft. I saw another, our lads, that had him 12th. So those are obviously much different opinions. And if he's the 12th best cornerback, then he's like the 75th pick in the draft. So the Raiders trust their scouting. Mayock and Gruden like a certain player. So I hope this one works out better out of Ohio State than Gary and Conley did.
Yeah, and it's a very good point. Another thing, when I think about Mayock and Gruden, I don't know if there's not a better GM coach combo, but a more predictable in the sense that if they like you, like if they just like you, if they like your personality, if they like the things that you have to say, you can sell yourself to Gruden and Mayock and they will believe in you. Now, we don't know how that's going to work out, but they have reached now in 2 drafts. And again, I think you broke it down pretty well. What is a reach and what is scouting? It is completely subjective and it is all over the map, and there is no, obviously, surefire results. But this is a team that, is willing to put a lot into character. I think they trust their gut. I think Gruden definitely trusts his gut. He likes it. I think he gets off on it. Don't you think on some level that Gruden enjoys surprising people and having like his guys that he can go out and take a chance on and mold into the, not even the Raider way, Steve, but the Gruden way. I feel like he's very unique in that regard.
Well, that's why Derek Carr kind of drives him nuts.
Yeah.
Because Derek Carr is he's not a rah-rah, super high energy guy, and that's
no shit.
Gruden wants like himself on the field at quarterback, and that's why he likes Jonathan Abram. Like a lot of people during Hard Knocks last year with Jonathan Abram were like, my God, this guy doesn't shut up. He's got a real attitude on him, kind of cocky, super confident for a rookie. And Gruden's like, let's go. I love that. I love that.